So good evening. Um, Today we are going to be talking about bod groups. I feel like I'm not all here right now. I wanted to talk about bod groups, and I don't know if I've done a call before, a live video before, or both, but if you have been with me in the past, you've probably heard some of this, but it's always a good reminder. So I want to cover a few things. First of all, I want to cover like maybe what a bod group is. I wasn't really going to cover that. I'll just kind of run through what it is in case someone's like brand new and doesn't know. But talking about the benefits of running your own group, and then kind of some ways to keep it simple, how I run mine, or ideas on how to start your own. And then the last thing is maybe a few ideas on troubleshooting when you don't have people showing up in there and things like that. So I just kind of jotted down some notes here, so I'm gonna be glancing over here. But I think like this is so important. So okay, let me get comfortable because I'm not. So just so everyone knows, next week we will not have a call. I should be able to do the next one the next week, but I'll like be in touch in the team page and stuff if whatever happens. But I feel like I'll be okay. I don't know. Okay, so bod groups. First of all, why do we want to run a bod group? Why run your own or, get together? Like I know I've invited people to help me in the past. And so sometimes it just depends on the person and their goals. Some people like just want to sign up a person here or there, and so they don't want to run their own bod group, and I totally get that. So if that's you, you can still listen to all of this and still this still applies to you because you're still technically running a group because you're in my group, right? And you still want to be showing up as the best coach and the best accountability partner that you can be in those groups. But so we have lots of new coaches on here. So a bod group is in our app, in the bod app, and you can go in there, and there's even trainings on the coach office, but I can also help you to figure it out. But it's super easy to set up, and it will just appear. It's like our own private social media. And it used to be in the past, we had a separate app. It was called the My Challenge Tracker app. Just so long. But essentially they kind of made their own thing, and they made some things new and cool about it. And then a few things were taken away that made me sad, but it's okay. But there are a lot of neat features on it, and it's so easy to just set one up, to put your post in there, and to track your workouts and to add people to it. So what I want to share just a few ideas of why it's really beneficial and important and helpful to run your own. Because I know that a lot of us, for some reason, we all seem to be like shy or quiet, or we think that we're not good at it, or we think we're not a leader or something like that. But we will never feel like that until we start practicing, until we start doing this. So when I started, and maybe I'll share this first because I think I shared it recently, but I'll go ahead. When I started, I added my first couple of people into my coach's bod group for like 1 month. And my plan was to like hang out in there for a while until I felt not scared anymore. But I evaluated myself, and I knew that, and I told her this too. I was like, I really want to be like stay comfortable and just sit in this place and add people to your group. But and I think she was just totally running it. I wasn't like helping run it or anything, but I was like, but I know myself, and the more comfortable I get, the more I'm not going to want to pull out of that later and run my own. So by month 2, I just like made my own, and I just ran it on Facebook to start. So these are ideas if you want to start this way, but if not, like I suggest now just going in the app and learning it, because the sooner you do that, the sooner, you're a master at it, and you can help your customers to do that too. Plus, if you start that right away, then you're immediately starting to build like your community in there, so that you're not having to add people in there later when you decide to transfer from Facebook to the bod group, if that makes sense. So anyways, But so I started a free group, which you can totally do. I'm not going to talk about free groups on this time, but I think we talked about several weeks ago. That's what I did at first. And then I made it officially like my group that you have to pay for and sign up to get into. And someone told me that too, because I was nervous about it because it felt a lot easier to just add people for free, you know, but they were getting lots of value and I was putting a lot of time into it, but I wasn't making any money from them, right? So someone was like, well, it all just depends on how you value your time and your coaching, you know. And I hadn't thought of it that way. Like, I'm selling myself short because I deserve to be paid for this. I'm helping them. I'm, you know, so hopefully maybe that can help you as well, to not be afraid to do that and just jump right in with it and not do free groups. But anyways, number one for running your own BOD group is that it is the ultimate accountability for your health journey, for you showing up for your workouts, for you remembering to drink your shake and log your shake, tracking your water, all of those things. Because, and I mean, I feel like I am like the true testament to this, because when I first started, you know, even in like those free groups, I was showing up and I was following programs, but the more that you show up, the more people that you have, not even that really, but just knowing that you have people that, you know, signed up with you and you promise them that you're going to be their coach and be by their side and do this with them, the more that you're going to show up. Sometimes I just go work out. Like, I could totally take the rest of the week off. I'm having surgery on Tuesday. There's not really like a need for me to go, but I want to prove it. I want to inspire somebody to get up off the couch and go work out on a Friday morning or whatever. Or I just like, so the more that you show up and the more that, you know, you like make this a priority and make this important and realize like what you can do. I'm kind of stumbling over my words, but realize that the more you show up, the more that your people are going to show up. And I want to be the best challenger in my group, right? Like, I want to be, I don't want to say perfect, because that's not what this is about. It's also about when we struggle or when we fall off for weeks at a time or whatever, that we share that, because that's going to help people too. So I don't want to say that, but anyways, it is the ultimate accountability, because there's just like, it kind of deepens the level of like how you want to show up for people. And in turn, like, your results get better and you start learning more. And so I don't know, I just think it's a huge deal to run your own for that reason. The other thing is, number two, is that you build confidence as you practice posting, talking to people, answering questions. Like, I'm still not like super knowledgeable, and we don't have to be knowledgeable as coaches. We just have to know where to direct people in BOD, in the nutrition videos, that kind of thing, you know. And, you know, remembering that it's our job to learn the programs and to learn that stuff. That obviously takes time. But the sooner you jump in, the sooner that you start running a group and start having people ask you questions, the sooner you get to go figure it out and go learn it. And so that you do kind of become an expert in things like that. So that builds confidence. And, you know, I was so shy. Like, I didn't go live in those groups for a long, long time. And I mean, I still don't now, because I think a lot of people just don't watch the videos, but I want to go live more. But anyways, my confidence with speaking or with staying on track or knowing what to say has grown. And the only reason that it's grown, not because I've been a coach for 4 years, but because I started practicing and making myself go live, even though I felt ridiculous and I felt like I didn't have anything to say and stuff like that. Number three is that it gives you something to invite to, something that's personal, that's yours. You know, if you, like, I even feel this sometimes if I feel like, because I keep a group that's just ongoing. So I'm always just inviting to our group. Some people run it differently. So my way isn't right or wrong. I just found that's actually what works best for my clients. Some people start a fresh group every month, every 6 weeks, like however they divide it up. And it has a different theme, and it has, like, I used to change the name every month and change what we were doing or what we were talking about. I still like to change that up a little bit. And, sometimes we do health bets or challenges and stuff like that. But for me, keeping the ongoing group going just like helped my people, because they were like mad. Every month I would change it, like delete that group and start a new one, and they're like, I lost all my measurements, I lost all my stuff. So I was like, oh, I didn't know that was going to happen. You'd think it would just stay. It might not now in this app, but I haven't tried it since that. Anyways, but it gives you something personal to invite to, so that when you're talking to people, it's not weird or awkward. Like, are you going to invite them to your whatever birthday party, whatever, your kid's birthday party or your Christmas get together or whatever? It's just that thing to invite them to, and it doesn't have to be elaborate. We're going to talk about keeping it simple, but it does make inviting a lot easier because you have that set up. Even if it's one person that's in there and you're not even doing a daily post, maybe you're just tracking your workout and saying good job to them, that's a group, and that can grow a community, and that gives you something to explain to them, like, well, we have this support in our private app, and you'll find your own wording for how you want to send that invite. But I know for me, like that is what I lead with a lot of times in my invites is about our community and about the tracking and the support, because for me, that is where the magic happened for my own journey, in the community and the consistency of it all. Okay, and the number 4 for why running our own is that ultimately they signed up for you. They maybe were excited about Beachbody workouts, or maybe they're excited to try Shakeology, but ultimately they were attracted to you for some reason, right? And they said yes to you, not to me. And so they look up to you, they relate to you, something to where you want to be the one that they see every day. You want to be their leader. So hopefully that makes sense. And then, so second, I just wanted to give a couple tips that this doesn't have to be elaborate or fancy, or, because you guys, I am none of those things. Like, what you see that I'm doing now is pretty much what I was doing when I first started. Like, I might get a little creative sometimes, but keep it simple in what you're posting and sharing in your groups. So, and honestly, I was looking at some of my past groups a couple weeks ago, because I can go back and look at them. And a lot of them, I don't even think I was doing daily posts. Now, we do want to be adding value, so I actually wouldn't suggest that, but maybe it doesn't have to be a daily thing. Like, maybe you put in something like 2 or 3 times a week. Maybe you're really busy or you're overwhelmed thinking about it. Don't let this be an overwhelming thing. There's also been years and major seasons where I didn't enjoy going into my own group. And so if you feel like that, or if you feel like it's draining, then you got to get creative. And what's going to make you excited to go in there, it's probably going to make other people excited to go in there too. There was a rough season where I seriously almost just like stopped running the group, because I was like, this is boring. Nobody's showing up. Like, I'm the only one tracking and stuff. And for a while I let that be an excuse. And then I realized, like, well, I'm the leader. What can I do to make this different? So that's when sometimes we would do the health bet, or we would do some kind of contest. And it's so funny to see everybody come out of the woodwork for these contests that like haven't talked to you in months and months and months. And so anyways, but ideas to keep it simple are just, go to Google or Pinterest and type motivational quotes or workout inspiration, or think of a topic. Like, once I think I did limiting beliefs, or just something. Like, go Google that, find a motivational quote, have Motivation Monday, put a quote up every Monday. Easy. You don't even have to make it look pretty. I mean, it is better to make it eye-catching. So if you know about Canva has a lot of free backgrounds. That's what I use in mine. I do not pay extra for Canva for the prettier ones. But you literally can just pick a background, type the quote on it, save it, and post it. That's it. Like, it's super fast. And then it's a little more eye-catching than just typing it in and maybe no one reads it because they didn't even see it. So, okay, so do that every Monday or whatever. Pick a day, motivational quote. You can go to the Beachbody blog and find a recipe. Again, pick another day, pick recipe Tuesday. I don't know. And you can obviously get way more creative with this, but this is like a good start because these people have probably never had any support or any kind of tips. So, and plus it's something that you're going to go to the blog and be like, oh, I want to try that recipe too. Or it's also really good to try, find a lot of Shakeology recipes because some people don't drink their shake every day and then they have a whole bunch of it or they get tired of it. And so there's lots of ideas and desserts and all kinds of things. So if you don't know how to go to the blog, let me know and I can quickly explain that. But that's on Beachbody On Demand for everybody to see, but most people don't realize it's there. There's tons of recipes. And so you can just literally copy and paste the recipe, save the picture to your computer, add it to the post and post it. Another idea, let's see what else. So sometimes, at least once a week, I try to have something on there that engages them, like asks them a question to answer back. So again, this isn't like a required thing, but maybe it's a check-in for the week. What are they struggling with? What's a win that they had that week? Or I know like the last couple of months I did a Saturday check-in. Like I don't always do those things, but you could literally keep it the same for a long, long time unless it starts feeling boring and no one's answering. If people are answering, then it's the right thing and that's what they need. And so do some kind of post that asks a question back that maybe you can see who's responding, see who's reading it, because there's so much of our job that is about our personal growth. And so if that's helping us, don't we want our people to be learning those mindset shifts and that personal growth too? Something else is tips. Like even if I see a tip or like when 645 came out and I was in Wala's test group or, whatever the coach group, BODgroup thing was for a couple weeks. And there were several of his live videos that I caught. And one was on how to recover, help muscle soreness or whatever, different things like that, how much water to drink, whatever. I literally just jotted down his notes, made my own post and scheduled it for one of my days. So if when you're intentional about being on the lookout for stuff like that, those are great ideas. So I'm going to move on because I'm like taking too long talking about what to post, but there's lots of other ideas, of course. And, maybe it's a fun group. Like I try to do your sweaty selfie or do a funny picture or something. Our particular group, not very many people do that. So it just depends. I think it would be fun. But honestly, when I was a new customer, I hated that stuff. So I'm sure we just kind of attract the people that are like us anyway. So what would you enjoy reading or answering? Go from there. Keeping it simple. Number 2 is literally just be sure to track your own workout and log your shake. I still forget my shake a lot. We can set an alarm on our phone. The notification can go, but snap pictures of yourself as much as you can for either of those or both, because, we want them to see us and see us in our space and see our, sweaty faces or when we're struggling. When you log your shake, put how you make it. I've been a little lazy with this lately, but I used to write 12 ounces of water, a handful of ice, this much peanut butter, whatever. And you're giving them a recipe, you're giving them value. And then if someone reads it, then maybe that gives them an idea. Maybe they didn't like their vanilla shake and now that, I haven't made it like that. And so then they can make it. It's just easy stuff, but make sure that you are showing up as your best challenger in there, right? And then the final thing for that, and this is so simple, but that's what I wanted to show was how simple it is to run your own group, is just go and like and comment on everybody's post. Cheer them on, give them some support. Maybe they had a hard day, good job for showing up anyways. Maybe they're struggling with something and you can actually give them a tip or an idea. Like for instance, sometimes people are struggling with when they get home, they're exhausted and they don't want to do their workout. So I've told a handful of people, take your workout clothes with you to work, put them on in the car, drink your Energize in the car, and then go push play when you get home. So, and you pick up on things the more that you're scrolling through your own group. And that's just an obvious thing, but that's just how simple it is. So the final thing I want to talk about is troubleshooting. And I don't know if this is actually going to be helpful or not, but I kind of jotted these down. So number one is, say the person signed up, but they never even started their workouts. First of all, don't feel bad. It's not your fault. Everyone has the same information. They actually do get an email from Beachbody and all of that. I mean, there are things that we can do to help with that. But first of all, just don't take it personal and don't beat yourself up that you did something wrong. Some people will never open the box. I've had people a year later, they never opened the box. I'm like, why? I want to drink it as soon as I get it, But that's, some people, it's like stressful or it's overwhelming to go look at this box that they have to open, and then they know that they have to make this commitment and start. So there's always like a deeper meaning to that. But, if that happens, of course, you still want to be checking in with them, and let's dig a little deeper. Like, why did they never start? What's going on in their life? Be a human being, be their friend. And sometimes you might find out, sometimes they might ghost you because they're embarrassed or they don't want to share what's really going on or something like that. Okay, I feel like I had something else to say. I didn't write anything down on that, but if I think of it, I'll come back to it. So then the next thing is, maybe you have people that are working out when you check in with them and they say that, but they're not active in the group. So you can try a few things and you can remind them. Maybe you need to make sure they know where the app is, because I'll be like, I've had people say like, okay, yeah, I'll check it out. And when it says like they've joined the group and they never joined the group. And so I'll go back again. I'm like, hey, I didn't actually see your name. Like, did you download the app, and where is it? Is it on Facebook? So sometimes people just need like a few little reminders and a little push to make sure that they get in there. But as far as like, maybe they are joined, but you're not seeing them, maybe they're tracking their workout or something, but they're not participating in like any engagement if you have a post like that or something like that. So, you can like let them know. Like sometimes I've sent, like the week of Thanksgiving, this is a good example, because I have actually a lot of people that never go in the app and probably aren't working out either. But it's frustrating because they would be so helped if they went in there. They need those tips, And so the week of Thanksgiving, I said, hey, hope you can pop in the app this week. I've got lots of tips going down, like for Thanksgiving stuff and eating, and I don't know what I said. But I don't know if that made anyone go in there or not, but that's me as a coach, like being their coach and covering, like, I got you, but you have to actually go click the button to go in there, And sometimes people just don't even realize that. Or I had one lady maybe a month ago, she popped in there and I don't think she'd ever been in there before. And she's like, wow, it's so helpful in there. I really need to remember to go in there more. And I was like, yes, set an alarm every day, 5 o'clock, go. It only takes 5 minutes to scroll through everything, maybe not even that long. So I don't know if that helps a little bit. But the other thing is that, try different kinds of posts. Like if you know that they're tracking and that they're in there in some way, but they're not engaging, then maybe that isn't the kind of post that they need in that group, in that season. So you can, try different things, or maybe it's time to try like some kind of real challenge, or go, we've had times where, you earn points and then whoever has the most points at the end, gets a prize or whatever. And we'd have fun challenges. Go do squats until you can't, like, see who can do the most squats, or do a plank for a minute. We would have like a challenge every Tuesday or something. So get creative, try to get them to engage in different ways. And then if like none of that's working, then they're just probably logging their workout and not, because you can track your workout and never go into the group and never see anything, which I think a lot of people do that too. But okay, I'm almost done here. So I did kind of mention just now, but I said teach them how to use the app if they're having trouble. And I've had to do this a lot with people. I know there's a video for BOD. I haven't watched it recently to see if it talks about the app or not, but you could literally, get on a Zoom with them and show them. Or what I usually do, because a lot of times people, the typical ones are like they can't figure out where to put their measurements, or sometimes when they're starting, like where to even track. I just screenshot everything. If you don't know how to screenshot it, Google your phone screenshot and it'll teach you how to do it. But when I learned how to screenshot, it was like a game changer. The other one that a lot of people ask is like they can't find the nutrition center. Click it. I show them how to click program materials. I show them how to find containers 101, and then I literally take a picture and I circle every single thing because it's so easy. So sometimes it can just be that they're not tech savvy, or they didn't start because they can't find the workouts, or they don't know that they can go on the website. Like some people don't know that you can go to Beachbody on, they're like, what's the website? Like Beachbody on Demand. But sometimes it's just that. But we don't know any of that unless we're messaging them. So those private messages are really key, especially when people are first starting. And I still do those for all those people who are not in the group. I wish that everyone was in the group because that would save a lot of time for me. But really that's where you build a relationship a lot more anyways. I don't know if that's sustainable. I don't know if like really, really high up coaches do that. I know Jessica has taught us to do emails and stuff like that, which I do, but I think a lot of people don't ever open those. So I would rather just take up more of my time and be friends with everybody at this point anyways, than to lose a whole bunch of people because no one's reading my email or something. So let's see. Oh, and I also typed because the group setting sometimes just like isn't for certain people. And I do have people who are really consistent and they just don't need the group, don't care about it, don't need to track. That's okay too. So you don't want to lose contact with them just because they're not in the group. So always do those messages too. And then the final thing is just stay positive and be the leader in there, even when no one's showing up, even when no one's commenting, because there are weeks, like if you go watch our group, like if you kind of start watching it, you'll see there's like ebbs and flows with it. There will be weeks where one person or 0 people will comment and I'll be like, oh man. But sometimes it's just that nobody opened the app. But then there's weeks where everyone's saying things and I'm like, okay, that was a really helpful one. But it's remember that people have lives and the BODgroup maybe isn't their top priority. So yeah, it just helps to stay positive and not take it personal, and just you show up because you said you would. And that goes back to that very first thing where, it's accountability for you. And so as long as it's helping you, like keep going because it's probably helping somebody else too. So hopefully it was helpful. I always feel like I just like run through everything so fast.